And I every time I try to take this big bowl of victimhood, because they serve it by the pound, right? You go to any local politician, go to any, you listen to anybody who kind of, really wants you to stay right where you are. They'll give you lots of victimhood, but I found last time I checked, victimhood doesn't solve any problems, and it doesn't actually help you. It doesn't pay. You can't pay bills with victimhood. That's racism. That's what it is. And what I realized was I said, okay, maybe there's a better strategy. Maybe there's another way I can approach this. Maybe I can say, okay, I got the victimhood, but I know this ain't gonna pay no bills. So I'm gonna just put this victimhood over here, and I know it's there. I know I might have been a victim, but then I'm gonna grab a big old fat handful of accountability, and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna carry that with me in my pocket. And what I found was that my accountability allowed me to realize a couple of things. That when it came to things like healing, it's before I start complaining about the world. I start looking at Boyce, right? Before I start talking about what he did, I start talking about what I did. And thank God for my parents. My parents were always like that. They were always, let me just tell you let me tell you what happened to me one time. It was wrong. I was a victim, y'all. I was really, I was 11. I mean, how much dirt can you do at 11? I had a raggedy ass cousin. And let me tell you what this Negro did. We went to the store and we go in the store and we were 11 and we didn't have no money. So I think I got a pack of now laters because you remember now laters are like 10 cents, 15 cents or something. That's all I could afford. And I don't know what he got. We walked out of the store. This Negro pulled two big king size Snickers bar out of his jacket. And I know he couldn't afford two king size. It was the big, the big gigantic king size Snicker bars, right? And I'm like, how did you buy that? And he said, well, I picked it up. I stole it. And so now here's the thing, right? I'm not a snitch. I ain't nobody snitch. So I was like, well, I wouldn't have stole it, but whatever, right? And he gave me a piece of the Snickers bar, so I was officially in possession of stolen property, but I didn't care. I was 11. Well, this let me tell you what this SOB did. He gets home, his mama finds out, somehow she finds out that he stole the Snickers bar. And do you know what he did? He said, I did it. He blamed it on me. That son of a bitch. So she calls my mother because she's deeply concerned about the fact that I manipulated her son into becoming a thief. And tells my mother, I think that Coco stole the Snickers bar at the store. And now here's the thing. My mama knew me. And my mama confronted me with it. And she knew I wasn't no thief. I wasn't gonna be up in the store trying to jack no candy bars. And I said, I did not do that, mama. Like that's wrong. I said, I want justice. I was like, this ain't right. I'm gonna get on the phone. I want to call his mama and tell her the truth, tell her what really happened. And what was really the big dilemma in that situation, to this day, I have not solved this puzzle, but it's really made me think. To this day, I still don't know if her solution was right. But you know what my mother said? She said, you should have took responsibility in the moment. You should have told on him right there in the moment. Now, again, I'm still not a snitch. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't, it's not like it changed my behavior, but it did give me another perspective, right? It did sort of say that sometimes even relentless accountability, even it can be empowering to some extent, even if you're wrong. Because what it kind of introduced me to was this: it introduced me to the fact that if I try to come back and say, well, I had no choice, my mother was the person who said, no, actually, you did have a choice. You just had a difficult choice.